Hello, and today we are doing an FPL preview for game week number 27. That's right, we are looking at my game week 27 team, and we'll quickly touch on some of the highlights from match week 26, of course. But the main thing is, instead of doing an FPL review this time, we're previewing a big game week. So I'll tell you why it's a big game week. Not just because we're reacting to that triple captaincy, but also because... we're using another chip. Oh yes, successive chips. That's what I'm talking about. And as you can see there, my team is Backman and Robin, Roberto Hollis, known as FPL Yellow Army. I don't mess about. I'm an FPL content creator, and do follow me on Twitter at Roberto Hollis 9, capital R, capital H, and basically, yeah, give it a like what you see, and hopefully comment down below what are your transfers this week. And if you are not making transfers, then what are you doing? Because it's not just any game week, it's a, you know it, blubble game week. And I think I said this last time in 25, because there were doubles and there were blanks, because it is a blank game week. Mainly a blank game week for Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal. But also, it's a double game week for Burnley. Now, will I really go for that far to get in a Burnley team that are struggling at the bottom of the table? Oh, you know I will. So, have I got any Burnley players before this week? No, but that can be sorted. That can be arranged. So, before we show you my team for match week 26, and I'll tell you a bit of my chip strategy, whether I make any transfers or take any hits this week, let me show you how we got on for the first half of match week 26. So, you know, it could have been worse, but 67 points at the time of recording. It will be much more than that, I'm aware, because Arsenal, Wolves, and Liverpool, Leeds, and Watford, Palace, and also we've got still yet to come the game between Tottenham and Burnley, but it's still very solid, right? Look at that game week rank, 466,001, right? Very specific, but very, very good. To take a minus 12 and for it to already have paid off is beautiful. So we beat the average so far with a very good 67. That's impressive, beating it by 15 points. Or 25 points, I should say. Maths has never been my forte. But fair enough. To the highest points so far, 118 from SWT United. Wow. I mean, Sim White Tong, that is unbelievable stuff. He did a minus 12 just like me, but he played his bench boost. I mean, of all weeks to play the bench boost, you would have thought had been this week. But when you've got Eric Peters, Dennis, Podence and Pope, you just got to say fair play. And the two best strikers this week as well, Weghorst and Kane, obviously faced against each other. So fair enough, SWT United, doing yourself proud, doing Manchester United proud, and more importantly, doing Singapore proud. But moving back to my team from match week 26, I was very happy. So I took a minus 12. These were my transfers. Basically, I started off by doing Ramsdale in for David De Gea, because I knew that Manchester United probably wouldn't keep a clean sheet against an attacking Leeds United team. That's how it played out. 2 goals conceded for the Spaniard. Also, I had Ben Foster, and I know a lot of people kept De Gea on their bench and played Foster, but at the time of locking in my team for game week 26, I had no faith whatsoever in Watford. So therefore, I wasn't willing to start Foster and hope for the best. I was wanting a player that I felt was more likely for a clean sheet, and also a good goalie that I want to own going forward, that also doesn't, have to make me have to change them around. And that's exactly what I got. Aaron Ramsdale is back in the team. He's back where he belongs. And unfortunately, defensively, I got an absolute nightmare. It was just every single defence, it seems, didn't keep a clean sheet this week. Obviously, it's what can you do, right? But going forward, Ramsdale's a fantastic option. And Manchester United, defensively are all over the place, whereas Arsenal still pretty solid at the back and unlucky to concede in like the 95th minute with that Christian Norgard goal. But look, Ramsdale is still doing well. He didn't make that many saves in the game against Brentford, admittedly. But look at that. for across the season, he has been unbelievable. 103 points. And he is still very highly owned, I know, but that is for a reason, because he is the best goalie. So, look, let's not think about it too much. Let's not overthink it. Just get this guy in, because, number one, fixtures to the end of the season are very, very nice. Obviously, two doubles to be rescheduled, but look, it's just really good from now to the end of the season. Other than Liverpool in 29, it's very, very tasty. Now, also, defence. We had Cancelo, and we were saying about this week, oh yeah, this is the week to have some of your single players keep, because they're going to do bad, they're going to do really well. They did absolute garbage, and that's just unlucky. But Joao Cancelo, you'd fancy it. At least a clean sheet against Tottenham, based on how poor Tottenham were doing. But out of nowhere, Spurs score 3 goals, and Cancelo gets no attacking contribution. Really disappointing, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, it is what it is. We don't often say this with Man City, but they were all over the place from the defensive point of view, and they'll bounce back for sure in their game against Everton. But look, still, great fixtures for Cancelo going forward. He is a must-own defender, and 7.1 is not even that much, right? When you think about Trent, who's just as good, I'd say, and he's 0.4 more expensive when I bought him. So, yeah, he's just such a good player to own. You've got to keep the faith with Joao. Then in the other defensive department for the big team, Trent Alexander-Arnold was, of course, left out of the squad for that match against Norwich. I mean, you just can't predict that. It was, of course, ahead of Leeds and ahead of the Carabao Cup final on Saturday against Chelsea. So you kind of think, okay, fair enough, but you just expect, you know, if there's going to be only rotation, it's going to be Robertson and Tsimikas. Hence why we were going to go with Robertson, but then we thought, no, Tsimikas could get brought in. So we went with Van Dijk. I was very happy about that because, you know, Van Dijk has got good goal threat ahead of a game to Leeds, and also he's just good to go own going forward. But I've done some tinkering, and I'm thinking, actually, is the defensive double up worth it? When you think about the fixtures going forward, yeah, okay, Man United, not great. Tottenham, all right, but Liverpool could be better, right? They do double in 29, but ultimately, I'm not sure if I want to own Van Dijk long term. So that might have just been a short-term one just to attack this double game week, but let's not say Van Dijk is in there for forever. But I'm still happy that he played, for sure. Just a shame about them not even keeping a clean sheet with Norwich. But look, still got another game. Hopefully does the bits against Leeds. Did score in this game last season, even if he did make a mistake for that Bamford goal. Then Tierney, the same thing as Ramsdale. But look, Tierney's just been so unlucky. I felt like a goal or an attacking contribution is coming. It is on the verge, but he's a nice juicy differential when you compare to most people bringing in Lacazette. I still think he's a good one to own for the long term, and he's actually been quite, you know, good in terms of his minutes, so I'm very happy about that. Hopefully he can repeat the feat that he did against Norwich and against Man City with some attacking feats against Wolves in that second game, but certainly in the upcoming fixtures, some decent chances of that. Bruno Fernandez, absolutely fantastic. What a great transfer in that was. We mentioned Van Dijk, who he brought in for Aymeric Laporte. That was genius because I just had a feeling that City was concede 3, and you obviously want to own Cancelo long term. But Bruno Fernandez, I've just thought, yeah, there's no point in here holding him. But I was like, actually, don't do it, right? Why would you sell Bruno ahead of Leeds? Loads of people did it, and I get they're trying to plan ahead, trying to get in people like Son, people like Salah, people like Saka, but I'm not willing to do that ahead of such a good fixture, and it really did pay off because obviously ahead of the Burnley game, Fernandez has actually outscored Son Heung-min, and he's outscored Salah. So look, I'm not saying I should have triple captained Bruno, but what I'm saying is that was a fantastic decision to keep him, and he would just look brilliant, and it's good for going forward, really. I don't know whether I want to keep him though past game week 28. I probably don't, because in 28 they play Man City, but you know, I'm so happy with Bruno. Ever since I brought him in game week 22, he's done so well for me. The Portuguese is really improving in his you know, attacking final third contributions. He's playing much more centrally in behind the strikers, and you know, 2 goals against Villa, fantastic. 2 goals against Brentford, brilliant. Another goal against Brighton, even if it was late, it was huge because it got all 3 bonus points when I captained him. And another goal and an assist in the Leeds game, and he's not known for his headers, but it was a fantastic one. Salah against Leeds, could have had so much more. Against Norwich, I should say, could have had so much more. Sat down them for the Salah goal. But look, still, you can't complain really too much. Hopefully he'll get to that 25-point mark, and then I'd really be happy with a solid, decent return like that. So I'm pretty happy. I'm not going to lie. Bowen, 1 point. I mean, you really can't predict that. Salah's just imperious, but recently Bowen's been on better form than Salah, so it's amazing. Newcastle, you say on paper is a good fixture, but they just weren't quite at it. He did hit the bar, to be fair, but going forward, fixtures, I'm not sure I'm going to be that patient to wait until 31. I'm not saying that he's definitely a sell right away, because his form still has been quite good, but maybe not the best option with not many doubles coming up as well. Saka, absolute legend. The star boy Bukayo Saka. He has been a bit like Bruno Fernandez. Ever since I brought him in, he's been fantastic. Now, we won't talk about the first time I owned Saka this season, when I brought him in for Palace, and he got sent off and injured. He got yellow carded and injured, and taken off in 45 minutes. That we won't talk about that, even though I might have just done. We'll talk more about the times that I brought him in and optimised my points, the prime time to bring him in, and that was ahead of Leeds. And we did it the week he scored that 7-pointer. I was loving it. And then since then, look at that. 6-pointer, sorry, not 6-pointer, 16-pointer, 6-pointer, 10-pointer. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And even the weeks that he's blanked, right, I haven't been that unhappy with him, because he still plays games, he still gets involved, and those weeks that Saka didn't do that much well, I had good points the rest of my team. So really happy with Bukayo. What a goal for the Brentford game. Really good to own going forward, with possible double in 28 and definite double in 29. Looking at the front two, though, we've got Joshua King and Raul Jimenez. Now, very happy with Jimenez. I brought him in for Cristiano Ronaldo, who obviously got booked and did nothing against Leeds. So again, very good transfer from me this week. And Jimenez, an instant impact. Nice assist against Leicester. Could have had more, but, it's a return. Not many strikers have been returning for people this season, so I'm very happy with that. And he's got the fixture against Arsenal, which could be an emotional one. Obviously, the game that he got his head fractured, and I don't know. I'm really conflicted, because I need a Ramsdale clean sheet, but at the same time, I need a Jimenez goal, so I really don't mind what happens. Now, in hindsight, you'd say, okay, maybe I should have put in Weghorst, but I don't know. I'm not sure I would have really done that ever. And I couldn't afford Kane, because I'd already brought in Van Dijk and also Ramsdale. So, it wouldn't have worked. And also, Lacazette got the same. So, I went for Ramsdale in the end over Laka, but it really didn't make a difference. And they play each other in the final game. And obviously, Kane, that was just unfortunate. You would never have backed it. I thought about Son for Fernandez, but as I say, despite the fact Bruno might be better with more fixtures, I just think it was great to not have to transfer out Fernandez, I should say. And then King against Palace, obviously hope for something there, but really it's just the fact he had a double. You had to back him. And he's going to probably definitely outscore the man who I had a benching headache between, and that was, of course, Luka Dean. So hopefully against Palace gets a cheeky little assist or something like that. But really had a good chance in the Villa game where Martinez was close range and he denied him. So, yeah, very happy this week. 67 points. I'm very, very, very happy with that. Then in the bench, Foster, okay, that's just unlucky. You're always going to play, when both goalies have got doubles, you're always going to play the better goalkeeper, and that is Aaron Ramsdale. 6 points against Villa. Maybe not a clean sheet against Palace, but either way, you just back the decision, not the outcome. Luka Dean, 2 points. I'm glad I benched him, because Villa have been awful so far, and I was thinking about playing Dean just because I thought, clean sheet there, 6 points, then possibly 2 blanks. That's 4 points for King. But I made the right decision, so very happy. Neil Maupay, look, he's good going forward because he's got a double in 29. But ultimately, right, he's got a nice fixture in 28 as well. Is it worth selling him? Well, I don't think Brighton are looking great, but he's their best player. So I still feel, be patient with Neil Maupay. He's been really good. So I'm fine that I benched him. I was happy that he did nothing. And Doug Luiz as well did, of course, get subbed off before 60 minutes. But that's why he's my bench fodder. He doesn't usually have to come on for points. So very, very decent game week. At this time of recording, at 1,575 points. That is a lovely overall rank, though. It's another green arrow. I mean, our run of green arrows is actually outrageous. Look at this. Look at this, my friends. It is just, it's delicious. It really is delicious. Like, we've had, if it is a green arrow this week, that would be 12 green arrows in a row. It's just, I can't even, I'm losing count at this point. So I've had a great season, and I'm looking to finish where I said that top 100k finish would be amazing, considering I've only finished inside the top million once, and that was back in the 2020 to 21 season with that ranked last season of 267k. So yeah, I'm really, really happy. So it's a very, very tiny green arrow. I think we were on 177 and 82 last week, so marginal, but every green arrow counts, and especially in a week where a lot of defences disappoint, I'm very happy. But we've still got a lot of doublers to go, so could be a lot better than 67. I won't, unfortunately, get out a review, as I say, of this game week, because it's just a quick turnaround. But at some point in a future preview, maybe the preview for Game Week 28 or something like that, we'll look back at how we did and how that affected our rank at that time. But the main thing to talk about this video is, of course, my team for this week. And I can, in fact, reveal that we have changed our defence. Yeah. We've made some transfer hits, people. We're not messing about. So we've taken a -12 because we didn't need to free hit, and I actually really like this team. So let's start off. So Nick Pope in goal. He's got a game against Palace and Leicester. Now, obviously, I think he's good going forward because look at Burnley's fixtures, pretty decent. Also, I think that Burnley defensively have been quite good recently, and Palace have been off form. Leicester have been off form. They could both score, but I think save points for sure. And 2 games, you've got to fancy it. Cancelo always stays in, of course. Maguire, I think he might get a clean sheet against Watford. As much as I was impressed with how we played against Villa, I think United will just be probably a bit too difficult for us to get anything from that. And, we haven't been scoring loads of goals. We really went on a bit of a drought. So there might be a clean sheet or an attacking contribution from Harry Maguire. Ben Mee, the same thing as Pope, really, but he's got a bit of goal for it, and I think he could get some goals. Palace simply cannot defend, and Leicester can't defend set pieces, so it makes sense. And Joao Cancelo against a leaky Everton team, looking very, very nice. I've got a confession to make. These are not a -12. I'm making my whole new team because it's a free hit, people. That's right. I usually say with a free hit, don't carry on players from the previous week into this week, but you have to own Joao Cancelo. He's essential for this week. So, as I say, Burnley doubling, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool blanking. So that's our back line. Very, very solid. Hopefully 4 clean sheets and a couple of goals. But in the midfield, on this free hit, that's right, we've activated it. We've gone for an absolute deluxe midfield. Now, this is subject to change, but it won't be changed in this video, basically. This is the latest, version of what I'm saying, and obviously I'll tweet out my team, and hopefully you can follow me on that and get any updates if there are any. But basically, I'm pretty set on this. It's looking delicious. Now, a lot of people got Sterling and Mahrez, or Foden and Mahrez, but why not have the deluxe edition, KDB? He is back to his best. He showed it in the game the last few weeks, and he's just so good, right? He's so good. He's such a great premium asset, and to own him, Sancho and Son and Mahrez is just feeling like, my team value has really helped, and it's hopefully going to be a big point scoring week. Now, Bruno Fernandez obviously is the the elephant in the room, I should say, but it's not really worth it because I had Bruno last week. I don't think I need him this week, other than the fact he's on pens. I'm just like, well, he might not even be. It might be Ronaldo, but Bruno could haul big, and I'll take that on the chin. But I just think Sancho's so exciting as a differential. He's looking really good recently. As much as I don't want him to do anything, I feel like he might, just because he's looking really back to his best. And Riyad Mahrez, great penalty against Spurs, and a nice juicy differential. Whenever he starts the games, the Algerian always seems to score, so looks really nice. And Son against Leeds, I mean, that's points galore for me. Up front, though, we've gone with Harry Kane, Wout Weghorst, and Armando Broja. So I'm liking the spread of this team. Kane, obviously, and Son, they assist each other. They're so lethal against Leeds, hopefully. Weghorst captain. Now, I think you just got to double captain someone. It's as simple as that. They got 2 fixtures. And Weghorst, fantastic goal against Brighton. I think he can follow it up with more points against both 2 defences that are leaky. So Broja against Norwich is a no-brainer. He's been in fantastic form, and Norwich at the end of the day, still an awful defence. So I'm really liking this team. I think it's got to be Weghorst captain, Son vice captain, just because of how leaky Leeds can be. And Kane. There was rumours before the Burnley game. Oh, Kane might not be fit, but those rumours were quickly squashed. So Kane can stay in absolutely fine. I thought about Ronaldo, but I think Kane is slightly better than Ronaldo, just because he's not been in form. And even if he returns to form against Watford, I'd rather own someone against, because I feel like defensively we've been in a bit better form under Hodgson. But even if we concede hatfuls, I feel like Kane is more likely to get hatful and get attacking contributions. Let's say Spurs beat Leeds 5-0. You're more likely to see more returns from Kane than if Man United beat Watford 5-0 and Ronaldo might only get a couple of them. So I feel like he's really one to own this week. He proved a point against Man City. And Weghorst, he's a new shiny thing and we all like it really. Brozier against Norwich. I think Brozier is a really nice one, but I think it's not too template, but it's quite template. There's just about a few changes that I've made that are probably different to what most people have got. Not many people will have Slabhead, but I think it's quite a nice one. And also not many people will have a Sancho. And De Bruyne, I suppose, as well. But the bench is looking pretty weak, but I don't need it to be strong. All these players will play. On the bench, though, we have in fact got Storer. I doubt Pope is going to miss both fixtures. It's very unlikely for that to be the case. So we just got some random lad from Wolverhampton Wanderers, because why not? Livramento, the reason I'm benching him, and I could live to regret this when he gets a big haul, he always likes getting points on the bench. That's just him this season. But I'm not really comfortable with starting him, and I'll tell you why. I think Norwich might score in that game because they're desperately battling for their lives. And secondly, I think that he's just not nailed. As much as he's brilliant, and he scored a good 12 points last week, he did get an assist. I just think him and Walker-Peters and also Perrault, I just don't know who's going to start. And I might get the argument of if you bench him and then you have Maguire off the bench, that's fine. But what if he comes on for a 1-pointer? What if Norwich score? I see the upside in starting him, but I also see the downside in owning him. So he's a fantastic option to come in if one of my players miss out. But I'm not sure I'm comfortable enough with starting him. We have to see a few more successive starts for me to get confident. But he certainly won, outside of this free hit. If Southampton go on a bit better of a winning run, certainly he could be one for a free actual, permanent transfer. I say permanent, but you know what I mean. Not a free hit. Fabian Schär is also there. I don't know why. I just trying to get the budget out, and I don't feel like Brentford won't do anything against Newcastle. They'll probably score. I mean, it might be the first game for Eriksen. That would be emotional if it was. But Fabian Schär certainly is a decent player, and he is in a defence that have been leaking goals without Trippier, and they're not solid. So I don't think I'm going to regret any points there unless it's something unlikely. But it's just kind of making up the bench, and also Yves Bissouma there as well, cheapest midfielder I could find pretty much that plays. So it's not a nightmare if all these players have to be brought on, other than obviously Storer. But I like this team. I think this team is looking strong. We've invested well. We've got all the essentials and got a few nice differentials, including Fabian Schär if needed, De Bruyne, Sancho, and most importantly, Harry Slabhead. But thanks for watching my free hit team and preview for Gameweek 27. Lock in your teams for sure for this game week. And look, I'm really happy with that rank. As if we can get to that 100k by the end of the season, my job will be done and I'll have another successful season. But this is the time to optimise points. Come on, Vout. Get me some goals. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.